Welcome to a top 10 video, where I am going to rank my favourite playable factions from Rome Total War Barbarian Invasion. And luckily there's only 10 factions. I'm of course only including the playable ones, and the ones that are playable from the start, that is. And this is just my opinion. Feel free to disagree, most of you probably will. Let's start this off in 10th place, and I've gone for the Vandals. It's just too much hassle to have all of those armies around. The mechanic works great in Attila Total War with the Huns, but it just does not seem to work right in Barbarian Invasion. It's just too many armies, you're going to be fighting battles that you can easily win, and for first 20 turns, it's very repetitive and more just moving your armies around and getting some money. Overall, I don't like playing as the Vandals. 9th place is here for very similar reasons. Well, exactly the same reasons. It's the Huns. Now the only reason they are above the Vandals and take 9th is because, it's the Huns. At the end of the day, they are one of the major factions, so that's sort of the only reason why I ranked them above the Vandals. But still, I hate playing as the Huns on the campaign, and even in the battle as well. I don't like missile cavalry strategies, I just don't enjoy it, so yeah, that's another downside of these factions. Number 8, the Sarmatians. The issue with these is you can't hold out against the Huns, not really, and they're going to more than likely go for you. So really it's just instant death. There's no chance as the Sarmatians, really. Well, there's a chance, but it's going to be a rough campaign. You're probably going to die, you're going to become a horde, and then it's just the same as the other Vandal or Hun factions. I like a challenge in Total War, but this is pushing it too far. And in 7th place, we have a very similar faction, and it's here for the same reasons, the Goths. Now, you probably will again die to the Huns, or maybe the Sarmatian horde once the Huns have wiped those off the map. However, with the Goths, there's at least more time, but there is a chance that you can expand into Eastern Roman territory, and at least capture some settlements and survive before becoming a horde. But still, very, very low on the list. Number 6, the Alemani. This just seems like a pointless faction. I don't really know why it's here. Compared to the other barbarian factions, there is nothing interesting about the Alemani. I just don't find them interesting. Compared to 5th place, which is the Franks, if you're gonna play as a barbarian faction, you're gonna choose the Franks. It's just they're a more well-known faction, they were a more successful faction, they do have the ability to horde if things go wrong. I find their starting position much more enjoyable. In 4th place, we have the Sassanid Empire, and these are here because it is a fun faction to play. It's not too large, it's just your average sort of Rome Total War size faction. But I've got two issues. I don't like desert factions, I don't like the units, I prefer to have some actual metal armour, which usually they lack. Of course we've got cataphracts and stuff, but a lot of it is those wicker shield units and stuff like that. And missile cavalry as well. I hate missile cavalry, and that's another reason why the Sassanids only made it onto 4th. But overall, they are quite a fun faction to play, compared to the other 6 that came before them. Now we're into the top 3, and in 3rd place, I have put the Saxons. The Saxons are all about going at your own rate. You sort of choose what campaign you want to play. If you want to expand into the German regions, you can do that. If you want to go for the Western Roman Empire, you can do that. Or if you want to sail across and conquer Britain first, you can do that as well. There's multiple options where you can go, multiple directions with this campaign, and that's what makes it good. Overall, the Saxons, it's a very replayable faction, as there's multiple options available to you. Also, because they are Saxons, they do have their own very unique unit roster, a lot of interesting axemen in there, a lot of interesting other units, and it's just fun to play as. So yeah, it's you go at your own rate sort of thing. You're not going to get attacked early on, so if you want to start off very peaceful, you can do that. It's sort of As I said, going at your own rate, your own pace. In second place we have the Eastern Roman Empire. Very much like the West, but you're much more economically stable. It's sort of the Western Roman campaign, but easier. Speaking of the Western Roman Empire, that, of course, as you probably guessed, comes in first place. That is the most enjoyable campaign by far. It's the right mix between a difficult campaign, but not too difficult where it's impossible, or near enough impossible, like the Sarmatians. It's also very replayable. There's many different directions you can expand into. You can play a defensive start, an aggressive start, you can focus your empire in different ways, you can change your religion if you want to, like you've got a choice between pagan or Christian, whereas with the Eastern Roman Empire you kind of have to take the Christian route, as most of your settlements have already converted. With the West, at least you have a choice. One campaign you can go pagan, one campaign you can go Christian, and it makes it very replayable by doing that. I like the survival aspect of it, which the Eastern Roman Empire does have, but just not to the same extent. As I said, the West is the perfect mix between difficult but not impossible, and the East is more difficult but not too difficult sort of thing. It's just the West but slightly easier and less replayable, and that's why that came second and the Western Roman Empire came first. Overall, I hope you enjoyed. I know a lot of you are going to disagree, but that's just my opinion, and starting in 1 or 2 weeks time, or maybe 3 weeks, I should be doing my first ever live stream, and this is my first public announcement of this. My first stream is going to be of the Western Roman Empire, and we're going to be playing a pagan campaign. So watch out for the notification of when I go live with the streaming. As I said, it's going to be about 2 or 3 weeks until I get the internet for it, but once I do, I'll be on, I'll be live, and I'm really looking forwards to it. So if you are interested in watching that live stream, subscribe to get notified, like this video if you enjoyed, share with anyone you think may be interested. I've been MELKOR, goodbye.